Hi Pisces, it's Raina. So welcome to a new feature of mine that I'm trying out. I'm going to keep the love reading separate, and I'm going to do general readings twice a month. I will split it up, the first half and then the second half. So this is going to cover from October 1st through the 16th, when we have a full moon in Aries, and this will be hitting Pisces, your second house of earned income. So just talking about that for a second before I lay out the cards, I just want to say that this can either be that there is some sort of income that you have been working towards, because this is money that you're earning that is coming to an end, or that there's an increase. And I tend to go for the increase part of that, because I feel like, the moon is full, there's abundance, fertility. So to me, it strikes me as more likely that it's going to be something of a boost to your income. So that's nice. And yeah, so this is going to be very interesting for you, I think. And I hope that you enjoyed this feature. I'm trying to, find a happy medium with all the different things that I've been trying out lately, so I can, because I wanted to increase my video output, but I also wanted to make it more user-friendly and less kind of extraneous. So just, doing this for the time being and see what happens. Speaking of fertility, the other thing, wow, 2 major arcana cards already. The other thing that I wanted to say is that I have my camera perched in a very precarious position as I await a new tripod being delivered. And so I hope that the mic is picking this up. I'm just using the camera's mic. Oh my goodness gracious. I just picked out 3 major arcana cards. So it sounds like a lot of, in that short period of time, that some Pisces people might experience a lot happening for them. That might be very memorable 2 weeks as we start the new month. Okay. This is a shorter spread than I have been doing for the love rings, because since I'm doing it twice a month, I don't want to get too elaborate. So the overall theme for the beginning of this time period, and the first 2 weeks of October, is the Empress card. Now, the activity that is happening with the concentration of energy, the new moon on the 30th of September, and then you have the Jupiter having gone into Libra, the Sun is in Libra, Venus now is in Scorpio. But you had a lot of that, or you have a lot of that in your 8th house of other people's money, but also intimacy. The Empress card relates to the Earth Mother energy. And it relates to the sign of Libra. Hello. So it can speak to some people who are really bearing their souls with another person, and maybe like getting rid of that facade. If you have been even in a long-term relationship, some people go along and it still is not very deep. Even when they have, some married couples don't have deep relationships. So this is about the Empress card is actually about motherhood in general. So maybe some of you will conceive. That's always possible during this period of time. But also about just the ideas of creativity. So you might. I just did an astrology forecast for the whole month of October called Digging Deep, or Dig Deep. And this kind of goes along with that in a lot of ways. Although the Empress card sometimes is connected to sensuality, just kind of indulging or enjoying the pleasures of the flesh and being unapologetic for it. I tend to think of it as a very creative energy for artists. Obviously, as I said, for mothers, this can be a card showing that you are going to become a mother. All along those lines, that theme is playing out for the first part of October. And in the recent past, we have the High Priestess. So this is a card of using your intuition to kind of discover what it was that, was hidden beneath the surface. So, as I was saying that, I was kind of thinking about the career front, because one of the reasons why I wanted to get rid of the love readings, or was thinking about it, was because I didn't want to be redundant when I do these readings. Like, I look at this reading right now and I see relationship. I don't see career per se, but I thought about it and I thought, what could it possibly be if it was a kind of a career connection? And to be honest with you, I could see that you would choose maybe staying at home with a child over it. But even that, it doesn't seem like it's connected to career, because the past position is a spiritual card. So my personal feeling is that some of you may have been resistant to, entering into the idea of, having children, and you kind of had to think about why that was, and you realize maybe there were things from your past that have stopped you. But before some of you say, but I'm a man, or but I, am not interested in having children, or I'm past that stage of life, you can also talk about art in the same way, because it's like having children. When you create something, it's your baby. And so anything, now this could be entrepreneurial related, because it is a creation of yours as well. So maybe you have started a business, but it's something that it could be involved with a topic connected to the Empress. Like, it could be something like a restaurant, something where but gourmet, something where you're really obtaining pleasure from what you're eating, and you're kind of reveling in your senses. So anything, maybe massage therapy, anything that really kind of speaks to the physical side of life, may be kind of connected to the Empress. And the High Priestess card is saying that you had to kind of put a spiritual spin on things in order to feel that it was the right course of action. Maybe, you were trying to be too pragmatic, and which, it's funny because, Pisces, pragmatic, but Pisces is a water sign. Water signs tend to be concerned about their financial security. And so, yes, even for Pisces, you have that side of you that wants those guarantees and wants to have a life that's comfortable. The Empress is all about comfort and just pleasure and being very in touch with your sensual side, okay? The other thing too, I just thought of this. Maybe you're getting in a relationship and you're kind of being more like a nun in the past position. Maybe you were kind of celibate, and now you've kind of gone the exact, to the other extreme, because you saved yourself for a person that you felt was worthy. Maybe you spent a long time not engaging in sexual activity, and now you have found a person that you think is, it's appropriate for that. For the near future, or you could even say the present in a lot of ways, is the Judgment card. So this is about a rebirth in your life, and for some people could be literally a judgment, maybe from the legal system, where and so for some of you, this may involve a spouse. Maybe you, it could be if somebody that you were with was, maybe the person that you're with is a Libra, or that they were with somebody who's a Libra, and that is the cause of your divorce. That could be why the Empress is featured. Or just a woman who is very, kind of like a, not just say sensual, but kind of like a, I'm not going to say any bad words, but just, because I don't, the words like homewrecker and that stuff, to me, that's lame. But just somebody who was really emphasizing that part of their nature, and your partner fell for it. And maybe you were like, the perfect example is a woman, let's say a woman's in menopause and she loses her sex drive, or having children. Sometimes you just don't feel like it. And then the man found somebody who was willing to go there. That kind of a woman. Maybe that was your quote unquote competition. I don't like that term. I don't like that idea. And now you're getting unhitched from your spouse because of that scenario. But whatever's happening, it may be unleashing within you a new lease on life. You may be feeling like you're free to enjoy yourself now because you're officially divorced, and you can just kind of let your hair down and do whatever you want. So maybe you're living a little bit like a nun or a priest, and now you don't have to. But I definitely get, like I say, this reading seems more relationship oriented. So sorry for anybody who was expecting a career reading or focus on career, because I do feel like if there are career matters happening for some of you, it's more emphasis on creativity. Maybe you have wanted for a long time to be free of a certain job, and you've decided to do something on your own. Maybe the High Priestess in that scenario would mean that you were being lied to by your employer in some way, and you found out about it. Maybe there was even a legal decision, and they have to deal with the chickens coming home to roost themselves because you left. The card that crosses you is the Page of Swords. I think that this could either be a situation where you are being paranoid about something, and maybe you're a little bit too suspicious and not trusting. Now, if this is a new relationship, that's something you have to be really wary of, because you could actually push somebody away if you're too suspicious of their motives. This is not typical of Scorpio, though. Pisces. I was going to say it's more typical of a Scorpio person. So unless you have Scorpio, like a moon in Scorpio or something, or Venus in Scorpio, well, I don't think you could. You couldn't have a Venus in Scorpio. But if you have, a prominent Scorpio, like a moon or a rising sign, you may fall prey to that, maybe Mars in Scorpio, and you might have a tendency to be a little bit too suspicious of other people's motives, and that could put a premature end to the relationship. But it also can mean that, because this is, in the upright position, the Page of Swords is somebody who is, it can be like spying or investigating a certain situation. The swords is the mental realm. It's the mental activity, and it's using your wits to get what you want. So because the High Priestess was in the recent past, it could be that you have been, let's say, maybe this happened with your ex. Maybe you kind of like suspected that they were cheating, and you kind of like found out by like snooping. And that's what the High Priestess represented, that, you had to uncover this secret. But maybe you've carried that mentality too far, and maybe you're doing it now in the early stages of a new relationship, and it's going to possibly negatively impact it. But it could also mean, sometimes in the reversed position, it can mean somebody who is hypersensitive and is like feeling offended too easily. So that's another possibility that you have to watch out for, so that you don't get into the habit of believing, because that is something that Pisces can be insecure sometimes, and you might feel that somebody is disrespecting you because of something that they say that is perfectly innocent, and you're taking it the wrong way. So be careful not to jump on people and assume the worst. Sometimes people do this, though, when it's almost like they're trying to sabotage a new relationship because they're afraid of the person leaving them. So it's almost like they're rejecting the person first. But you have some wonderful cards, a lot of major arcana cards, so maybe a lot of movement in a short period of time. This is a very positive card, the Ten of Cups. So something is there to celebrate. Now you see that there are two arms entwined as they're toasting. So this could be a marriage situation, a happy marriage, maybe a proposal, or, something along those lines. Although from the other cards that I'm getting, it doesn't seem like you're deeply in a relationship. But as I said, with all that 8th house activity, some of you may be getting married, or if you're already married, you may be in the throes of a real soul-filled relationship. And the Ten of Cups can also relate to any kind of family harmony, joy within your family. Maybe you're really kind of touching base with your family and having a lot of good times with them as well. And so it's very positive. And I think it also is actually a card of financial prosperity, even though it's in the Cups suit. So very nice, and very, I think especially in that last week. Now, these cards are supposed to be for the first half of the month, but because it's like a story that's being told, maybe it will play out, long after the 16th of October. So as the month progresses, and of course I will be doing a second set of readings for that period of time, but it could simply be that you're really touching base with people and feeling that, oh yeah, what I just thought, as I'm talking, I'm thinking about this. Venus is in Scorpio now, so it's in that 5th house of yours, or is it the 9th house? Let me think. Yeah, it's actually the 9th house. So it can be that you're getting some kind of celebration. Something else is happening along the lines of something to do with academia. Maybe you're having a success with either as a professor or as a student. Things are going very well, and you're celebrating with your family. That's always a possibility. But I can't help but notice that with a couple of these Cups cards as the outcome, it's showing that the emotional side of life is featured. And Venus in Scorpio, a fellow water sign, this is a friendly angle to you because your two signs form a trine. So the energy flows very easily. There's nothing. It's almost like drop in your lap ease for that kind of energy flow. But the problem is that sometimes people get so smug, like with the 9 of Cups. This is the 10 of Cups, but the 9 of Cups is all about smug, success. But 9 of Cups is positive too, just like the 10 of Cups. But that kind of easiness, sometimes people kind of, I was going to say neglect it. I don't mean that. Take it for granted. And you can lose powerful opportunities with the astrological transits by that initial, success. If you don't maintain it, you might just, you won't capitalize on it. So that's why I've been starting to do the astrology as well, because the transits really are wonderful tools for action, not just for passivity, but for action. And, the tarot can kind of second some of this, and we have more water element with the cups. 7 of Cups is the outcome. Now, 7 of Cups is almost like it can be a cautionary tale or card of saying make wise choices. Make sure you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. So let's say you are in a relationship that's serious enough that it's that you're going to get married. Make sure that you really know this person inside and out, because that High Priestess points to maybe not being maybe being in the dark in some way about what's happening. It's kind of like the Moon card in that sense. And also, I should have said with the Page of Swords as a challenge card, maybe you're not doing enough of your legwork. Maybe you're kind of ignoring certain signs, and that might not pan out. But the Seven of Cups is also a card, I think, of talking about abundant choices. So this is very important to know, when, especially if you had like a long dry period where you were wondering if you would ever meet someone again. Realize that it's really a lot easier to have this happen than you think. It really does, I think, a lot of times boil down to your own attitudes about possibilities in life. And maybe if you were very narrow in your thinking, you didn't even consider that, especially if you were like a certain age, if you are a certain age. Oh, no, there's not any good men or women my age. And then out of the blue, you met somebody, and that totally blew that theory out of the water. Okay, so the same thing can happen, regardless of what happens, what you discover about this person. If they turn out to be not what they claim to be, there's still literally more fish in the sea, and that's a perfect saying for a Pisces, right? Because you are the fish. So in any case, Pisces, I hope you enjoyed this new format that I'm trying out, and I do have a variety of private readings that are on my website. There's a link below this video to take you there. Otherwise, let's see what happens. Let's see if it's a very meaningful period, as evidenced by 3 out of 6 cards being major arcana cards. That's pretty cool. Okay, you guys, take care. Bye.